let's start off with the Dreamers Never Die, re-releasing it on DVD and Blu-ray. It is the Ronnie James Dio documentary. I saw it in theaters when it came out in theaters. And so it made its debut right here in Austin at South by Southwest. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We actually took it there to get someone to pick it up for general release, which they did. And it was great. It was out in theaters all around the world, but only for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then it, obviously in America it was on Showtime, but the rest of the world have never got to see it at all. And they were one of those shows in the cinema. So I'm very happy that it's a worldwide release now. So it'll be out on Universal for Mercury.
Yeah, and it's being released as a deluxe edition. So it comes with a lot of extra goodies and merchandise. I know there's a poster. What are some of the other things that are included in the deluxe edition?
They've got some, there's a wristband, there's a sticker, there's guitar picks, the poster, there's drink coasters for your beer or your wine or your tea. It's got some cards in there. It's got a lot of stuff in there. And tissues, of course, if you're going to cry. No.
Yeah.
Tissues because you're going to cry. I can say
those would be for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that you could put enough tissues in that box set, to be quite honest, because I like I said, I went and saw it in the theaters when it made that limited theater run, and I took my son, who was he was probably 14 at the time that this was out in theaters. And he's very aware of who Ronnie James Dio is because he's my son. But when he went and saw it in the theater, I remember we were leaving, and in the parking lot, he said, I always knew who he was, but he didn't quite put it in these words. But the point he was trying to make was he never realized how big of an impact Ronnie had over so many decades of music. Because I think my 14-year-old son knows him from his Black Sabbath days and the Dio days, but wasn't as familiar with Rainbow and Elf and going all the way back to his 50s.
Definitely not the doo-wop days.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it was it was very all-inclusive, career spanning, very well done. And I liked the fact, and I think the impression it made on my son was it humanized Ronnie.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We really wanted to, many people have asked me to do a documentary on Ronnie for many years. Wasn't the right time, wasn't the right people. Then BMG approached me and they financed it. And I interviewed a bunch of people. And then when I met Don and Demian, they were fans. They were huge fans. They'd already done like Imagine Dragon and an Alec Baldwin film and things, but they were Dio fans and they knew a lot about Ronnie. And, I'm very protective of Ronnie's stuff. So in the beginning, I gave him a little bit more. And then the pandemic came and we were sort of stuck in the middle. It took 3 years to make because of the pandemic. But because of the pandemic, I got to know them really, really well. And then I just opened the vault and said, you pick what you want, because I really trusted them. And I loved what they did with all the stuff that we gave them. They did an amazing job. And what they did was what I wanted. And what I wanted was to tell Ronnie's story, the good times, the bad times, the in-between times, and that how Ronnie who he really was. And also to pick some things out that maybe even a hardcore fan didn't know about Ronnie.
Right. So give us an example for those who haven't seen the film yet. Give us an example of maybe something that's in the film that people might not know about Ronnie.
Well, about the doo-wop days for sure. They probably didn't know that about Ronnie. He played trumpet from a young kid, all the different things with electric hours, the making of the album cover, Holy Diver. How that went down was Gene Hunter was the artist and Gene Kirkham was the photographer. But Ronnie and I knew what we wanted, but neither of us could even draw a stick pin. So they had to try and portray in this person's brain what we wanted. And so he decided on his own to get hold of Gene Kirkland, and the two Genes went down to make this. This almost died with them making this photo that they brought back to us and said, "Is this what you wanted?" And of course, it was.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. When you're putting something together, you were the executive producer on this film, and when you're gathering all the bits and pieces and the memories that you want to include in something like this, it's got to be a very emotional experience. Yeah. So for you, from your perspective, what moments tugged at your heartstrings the most, and then what moments made you the most proud?
I think that obviously the hospital scenes is very hard for me, very, very hard for me. Even though I wasn't there and didn't know Ronnie at the time, him retelling the accident was a terrible thing that happened to Ronnie and lost his best friend. That gave me goosebumps. A lot of the things, the memories, silly memories of photos I'd see and I'd remember the time, and that would make me cry. The highlights of the funny times, Jack Black was funny in it, was that scene that he's in. Sebastian Bach made me laugh. He's such a crazy guy. And that was really fun. So there's a lot of fun things in there, but those things come to mind to me to make me laugh and to make me cry.
Yeah. And I think that sums up the documentary in a nutshell. It will make you laugh. It will make you cry. And along the way, it'll make you appreciate the massive catalog of great music and the influence that Ronnie had on heavy music. There's apparently there's 20 minutes of deleted scenes in the deluxe edition. Scenes that weren't seen in the theaters and on the first run. Can you tell us a little bit about those 20 minutes? What might we see? Can you drop any hints about what?
Yeah. Well, it was, we had so much footage. We had to cut out so much stuff. And on this, we wanted to put some bonus material in. So we thought the things that what should have been in there that didn't get to go in there was Simon Wright talking about Ronnie's drummer. There's one from Wynn Davis, his engineer, talking about Ronnie in the studio. And then there's Jack Black, another Jack Black story that's kind of funny. So those are just different bonuses. There's so much. We could have put another, 100 minutes of stuff in there that was cut out, unfortunately. But, you can only do so long and people get bored after a while anyway. So we had to make it concise and we had to make it the story that it was. And I think that them and John and Demi did such an amazing job as directors. I'm really, really proud of them. I'm very proud of this product. I think Ronnie would be proud of it too.
Yeah, yeah. You how